kid, or this is gonna go bad for both of you.
Oh my God!
Do you wish that you had a bigger dick? Do you look at the thick bulge in the pants of other men and think, man, I wish my dong was that big? Well guys, this is the video for you, because I've discovered the secret to making your schlong massive. And this isn't just for the men, this is 2024 baby, and if there's any of you ladies wishing you could grow a giant sausage between your legs to drive the guys crazy, then I've got good news for you too. By discovering this amazing secret, my wiener was like the Grinch's heart on Christmas Day and grew 3 times in size. So, how is this possible, you might be asking? Is it done with a pill, or is it something you eat? Is it some form of revolutionary scientific formula or a drug? No, my friends. The secret is watching Season 2 of Reacher.
People leave me and my pals alone. I leave them alone. They don't. I don't.
This TV show is filled with so much masculinity that it's like getting a concentrated dose of Monster energy drinks injected straight into that thick blue vein that sticks out on the top of your dong. And this masculinity would be the toxic kind, according to Hollywood, and that makes it the very best kind of masculinity. So, aside from causing you to grow a giant dick between your legs, I'd like to tell you why I recommend this show and why you're a loser if you haven't seen it yet. But before we get into that, if you're a fan of my content and would like to support this channel, then please hit the like button and the subscribe buttons. It's completely free and all you have to do is make a YouTube account. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified whenever my new videos drop. I post at least one a week and I cover entertainment and pop culture in both Western movies and TV shows, as well as plenty of anime content as well. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get into why you should watch Season 2 of Reacher.
Homemade silencer. Call Marlowe out here, I'll shoot you in the leg. Scream, I shoot you in the head.
Okay.
In our day and age, feminism has gone from being a noble cause of fighting for women's equality and instead turned into a vindictive agenda of revenge and hate designed to tear down men and demonize all forms of masculinity. Chicks are turned into lesbian haircut lumberjacks who can conquer the world with the power of their ovaries, and men are either turned into feminized homosexuals or soy cuck vegans that are completely helpless without their female saviors. Actual strong women are replaced with mouthy, insufferable activists, and strong men are replaced with the weak. And you see this all over the place in entertainment, in movies and TV shows, and video games, you name it. So, when a show comes out that features a guy who's covered in muscle, kicks the ass of everyone who deserves it, and doesn't need to be led around like a helpless puppy by a strong female lead, people seem to be pretty receptive to it. And Reacher is absolutely that show. Jack Reacher was a major in the Army's military police corps. After leaving the Army, he began to travel the country as a nomad, looking to help people in need for no other reason than it's the right thing to do. It's been a minute since I've seen Season 1, but it's basically about Reacher getting falsely arrested for murder, and after he's freed, he teams up with 2 honest cops in order to investigate a conspiracy involving corrupt lawmen, politicians, and a wealthy businessman and his son. As far as Season 2 goes, and without giving away any major spoilers, Reacher finds out that one of the members of his old unit was murdered under mysterious circumstances. He reassembles several members of his old team in order to look for the ones responsible and avenge their old friend. Season 2, in my mind, is just as good as Season 1. At least I enjoyed it as much, and I feel it's pretty close to the same quality. It's not perfect, but it's filled with great action, good acting, interesting characters, and a plot that never feels stale or boring. The show keeps you interested the whole time, and each episode does a pretty good job ending in an exciting cliffhanger to make you want to come back for more. Season 2 has 8 episodes that are about an hour long each, and I watched it week to week, so I had enough time between each episode to let things process. So I'm not really sure how the viewing experience will be if you watch it all in one setting, but still pretty good, I'd wager all the same. Reacher isn't just a meathead in this, by the way. I mean, he's smart, and he relies on his detective skills to find solutions to tough problems. He's in no way led around by the women in this, but instead stands as a solid leader to the rest of the group. And on top of all that, he's a pretty likable guy and has a likable personality. Not to throw any shade at the women, of course, they're smart and cunning, and the fight scenes with them going toe-to-toe with men aren't exaggerated or overly embellished, but rather feel more grounded and realistic to reality. So, what are some of the negatives of Season 2? Well, the biggest one is that you have to watch it on Amazon Prime, aka the dark abyss where dreams go to die. Either that or you can sell the high seas of the internet. After all, if we're going to live in an age where you can pay for things and not own them, then you should be able to pirate things and not steal them. Of course, I'm not encouraging anyone to do anything that 99% of almost all people do already. I'm just thinking out loud, that's all. What else is a negative? Well, there were a few times where I felt Reacher and his team were given a lot of free range to do whatever they wanted without facing a lot of consequences. It's not a big deal, but there were times where the cop they're working with explicitly tells them not to do something illegal, and then Reacher and his team do something really illegal, and they just kinda get a slap on the wrist. I guess the cop was somewhat stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it didn't really look like he had a partner or any close friends that he could rely on, and so Reacher kinda became a necessary evil, I suppose. I might feel differently about it on a second watch, but on the first viewing, it just seemed like Reacher and his team had a get-out-of-jail-free card through most of the season. There were a few other contrivances, I guess you could call them, with the plot, like, for example, boxes of super advanced missiles being transported inside of a regular 18-wheeler truck without a military escort and then getting carjacked by a few thugs. I'm assuming that kind of stuff is because of the budget. Either way, I was willing to look past things like that for the most part, but they might take you out of the show for a bit. You know, most of the time I review things that come out of Hollywood, it's normally to take the piss out of it because it's almost all complete crap. But every now and then there's a light in the darkness, and a show like Reacher comes out and it brings a small glimmer of hope back inside of my cold, dead heart. The truth is that when most people watch TV shows and movies, they do it to escape the problems of life. It's a nice form of escapism that allows us to find joy and entertainment before we have to go back to work the next day and take it in the ass. People don't want to spend that time being preached at and lectured to. They don't want to be told about the problems of feminism, racism, slavery, white supremacy, bigotry, inequality, global warming, animal rights, real-world political drama, or anything else Hollywood is eagerly willing to spew out of their butt cheeks all over our faces. A lot of the times, we just want to see an interesting story that may just involve a buff dude being a badass and then getting the hot chick in the end. The chicks in Reacher Season 2 are pretty mid, if I'm being honest, but Reacher himself is ripped as hell, and the story surrounding him is pretty solid and entertaining. It's not perfect, but it's 1,000 times better than 90% of anything else coming out of Hollywood these days, and I'd happily recommend it to anyone who doesn't get easily offended. Not that there's anything in this show that's actually offensive in any way, but you know how weirdos are these days. But I think that's going to do it for me in this video, guys. Once again, if you enjoy my content and would like to help support this channel, then please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the bell icon, and let me know what you guys think. Have you seen Reacher Season 2 yet, and what did you think about it? Was it as good as Season 1 for you, or do you think the quality in this one dipped a little bit? Let me know in the comments below, and as always guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great freaking day.